Welcome, welcome. Welcome, Bill, Connie, good to see you. Byron and Becca, good to see you. Wendy, good to see you. And welcome, Christine, Cindy, and Lynn. And we'll give people another minute or so to... Hi, Lynn. Oh, here comes Monica. Yeah, so we'll give people another minute or so to gather. So in the meantime, as always, make sure you have a comfortable seat for meditation. And you may want to have something to make notes on, especially for the little intro that I'm going to do, because I'm going to be describing 7 stages of meditation, and it might be interesting to make notes on that so that you can track your own experience. Welcome, Susan. Yeah, so as I was saying, you may want to have something to make notes on for tonight. Because we will be talking about Anna Wise's 7 landmarks for meditation, which is interesting. So I'm delaying here, seeing if we can wait for Stephen to join us. He should be along any moment. And let's see, what else? I guess I'll just start giving you the intro, and then as others join, they will. So here we are with Awakening the Mind by Anna Wise. And the subtitle of this book is A Guide to Mastering the Power of Your Brainwaves. So as we were talking about last week, if you have some kind of device to measure your brainwaves, that's something that you could use along with this book. However, it's not necessary, because especially what I'm going to go into tonight, read from the book, is how certain feeling states that you have in meditation, in these stages of meditation, correlate with the brain waves. So she has a beautiful chart here on page 30 and 31 that, here comes Stephen. She has a great chart here on page 30 and 31 that describe these 7 stages and the different landmarks or feelings that you may have at each of these stages. So that's where we'll begin tonight. So welcome, Stephen. Good to have you on.
Thank you, Kevin. It's always a delight. Apologies for being a few minutes late. I'm literally coming from one to another. So,
Okay.
Kevin, it's lovely to see you always. I always love this community gathering.
Likewise, Stephen. So I was just talking a little bit about these subjective landmarks of different stages of meditation. And so now we'll officially get started. Thank you to Humanity's team for hosting us on this platform. Thank you to Garth for manning the controls, letting everybody in, doing the recording. And so we're in Awakening the Mind on page 30 and 31. And here is a great chart of what you may go through as you move into deeper and deeper meditative states. So you can see this as in terms of a progression of deeper and deeper meditation, but don't think of it in terms of, I start meditating, then I go from, she calls it stage 0 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6. It's not like that. You may go back and forth between any of these stages as you're going into meditation. For example, one thing that commonly happens is somebody gets deeper into the meditation and they start to feel something and they're like, oh, this is it. This is what I'm looking for. And then boop, they kind of pop out of that state and go right back to the beginning and feel like now their mind's active and they're trying to grasp onto the state and so on. So just see these as different phases of meditation that you move between. Okay, so let's describe them. So she calls stage 1 or category 1 um, just beginning to relax, a feeling of settling down, perhaps some difficulty in stilling the mind. Sometimes you might feel like it's an itchy state, a feeling of, and uh, so this may apply to, especially to people starting meditation, a feeling of, why am I doing this? Am I doing it right? What's the point of this? I'm bored, like all those kind of feelings. That would be category 1. Now, in terms of EEG, um, this would be continuous beta waves with possibly some intermittent alpha. So remember, beta waves are associated with attention and with thinking. So as you start to relax, and maybe you've had a busy day and your mind is busy and it's going back to thinking about different things in the day, or things you have ahead of you, that's this zero state where you're starting to relax, but then you're also noticing maybe how busy your mind is, or how itchy you are in your seat, or you haven't really settled in yet. So that's 0. Okay, next category or next stage. Here are the subjective landmarks. Befogged consciousness, feeling dizzy, sensations of going under an anesthetic. This doesn't sound like a very pleasant stage, but oh well. Occasional feeling of nausea, mind filled with everyday affairs, a feeling of scattered energy, a sensation of drifting off to sleep or being pulled back from the edge of sleep. So again, I would say probably this is more common with people just starting to meditate, although you may have a day where you sit down to meditate, you're starting to relax, your mind is busy, maybe you feel a little bit out of sorts, but you're starting to go like into a more relaxed, slower brainwave state, kind of like a state you would have when you're drifting off to sleep. So EEG, or what the brainwaves are doing in that, somewhat reduced beta with intermittent but stronger alpha. So there's more of a sense of relaxation, more of a sense of disconnection from your external environment. That's phase or category 1. Category 2, energies begin to collect, beginning to feel calmness and relaxation, perhaps uninvited vivid flashes of imagery, perhaps childhood flashbacks, images from the distant to the immediate past. Attention's not very sustained yet. There's a feeling of being in between states. So there's reduced beta, stronger alpha, which could be continuous. So alpha again is interior focus, relaxation, and start to disconnect from the external world. And possibly intermittent theta, which is that sort of where you're getting into the subconscious. So that's where the childhood flashbacks or imagery popping up into your mind, that could be associated with this category 2. All right, category 3, a well-defined state, pleasant bodily sensations of floating, lightness, rocking, or swaying. So I don't know if you've had this experience in meditation, but sometimes when I'll start to get into a meditative state, I'll feel like I'm just kind of floating or swaying or even kind of circling with my body. So you may have that floating, lightness, rocking, swaying, occasional rhythmic movement like circling. You have more sustained concentration, increased and clearer imagery, and increased ability to follow guided imagery. So here you're starting to concentrate, you're starting to get into this state. You have reduced beta, continuous alpha, so you're really relaxed, and possibly more theta as you're getting into that feeling of being immersed in this inner state. So that's 3, or number 4, or level 4, since she starts at 0. Category 4, extremely vivid awareness of breathing, extreme vivid awareness of heartbeat, blood flow, or other bodily sensations, feeling of loss of body boundaries, perhaps sensation of numbness in the limbs, sensation of being full of air, sensation of growing to great size or becoming very small, sensation of great heaviness or lightness, sometimes an alternation between internal and external awareness. Here, she says, is highly reduced beta, continuous alpha, and increased theta. So as you start to have continuous alpha and increased theta, you're really getting immersed in the experience. So that's category 4 or phase 5. And then 5, very lucid state of consciousness, feeling of deep satisfaction, intense alertness, calmness, and detachment, sensation of spacing out or disappearing from the environment or the body, extremely vivid imagery when desired, feeling of an altered state locking in. Oh, sorry, feeling of altered state lacking in previous categories. So you're really in the what you'd say a deep meditative state was. So she describes this as possible deep meditation or awakened mind with various combinations of what she calls beta mastery, continuous alpha, and theta. So it's that blend of beta, alpha, and theta where you're not so dreamy as you were, but it's a deep state and you're really attentive. You're really clear. And now finally, category 6 or phase 7, a new way of feeling. It's like you've arrived at a whole different felt sense of being. Intuitive insight into old problems, as though seen from a more aware level. Synthesis of opposites into a higher unity. Sensation of being surrounded in light. A feeling of higher spiritual awareness. A sensation that nothing matters other than just being. And a feeling of greater knowledge of the universe. So there would be her description of the deepest meditative state, which she says has 4 possible patterns. Awakened mind, which is that blend of beta, alpha, theta, and delta. Just all the brain waves are together. So you're very deep, but you're very clear, lucid, and aware. Or what she calls optimum meditation, which is alpha, theta, and delta. So that's really immersed in the experience, and you may have no even sense that you are present. You may feel like you're just gone. You're just in a state of immense clarity or light or no sense of self anymore. There's very little electrical brain wave activity. That's a possibility. Or the evolved mind, which is again this beta, alpha, theta, and delta together. So hopefully you find that interesting and helpful. Maybe you can use those categories to kind of track yourself in meditations. And as we go through this book, we're going to consciously go into practices that would take us all the way through all these phases of meditation. And yeah, so let's see what we discover. Tonight, we're going to go into a practice. Again, we're in foundations of meditation now. So tonight's practice is called relaxing and quieting the mind. And that, again, that's the foundation for going into deeper and deeper states of meditation. All right. So let's go right into our practice. So as always, I'm going to set us up with some posture points, with focusing our intention and just becoming present in our bodies and moving into a state of relaxation. And then Stephen's going to guide us in counting the breath and slowing the breath, which is a great way to quiet the mind. All right, so let's get into it. Let's cup our hands in our laps with the tips of our thumbs touching lightly. And lightly close your eyes. And just take a moment to check in inside and notice your current state of consciousness. So notice if you're carrying anything with you into this meditation, either thoughts from the day or emotions. And just allow yourself to be just as you are, letting whatever is going on in your mind or your emotions or your body be okay. Now feel into the environment that you're sitting in and consider your environment a sacred space, a space that embraces you, a safe space. And notice how when you feel you're sitting in a safe space, a sacred space, your body relaxes just a bit more. And you can start to feel like you're settling in. And now consider your intention for your practice. Why is this important to you? Consider that your practice is not only for you, that the effect of your practice and our practice together extends to all our loved ones, everyone we interact with, and even more widely and invisibly throughout the collective consciousness and all that is. You are an important part of the whole. Your practice, your state of consciousness matters to the whole. So consider dedicating your practice, our practice, to the well-being of all beings, that we all might learn to deeply relax and quiet our minds and connect to the deeper essence of who we are and our oneness with all of life. Now let's focus down into the soles of our feet, resting down on the earth, down on the ground. Feel the sensation of contact of the soles of your feet on the ground. Allow your feet and toes to soften and relax, as if they're melting deep down into the earth. Feel the grounded presence of the earth supporting you. Feel that solid, grounded presence flowing up through your feet, up through your shins and calves, your knees and thighs, into your hips and pelvic bowl, resting down in your seat. Feel the weight of your body resting down in your pelvic bowl, resting down in your seat, resting down on the earth. And focus into your palms and fingers resting cupped in your lap. Awaken sensory awareness here in your hands. Allow your hands to soften and relax. as if they are melting down into your legs. Feel the soft openness in your hands. As your hands relax, allow your arms and shoulders to relax down, releasing any tension in your shoulders, your neck, and your head. Imagine a strings attached to the top of your head, drawing your spine gently upright, giving you a feeling of vertical alignment and spaciousness right up through the core of your body. Feel your spine gently stretched like a string of luminous pearls from your perineum and tailbone, extending all the way up to the top of your head. Feel the tingling aliveness at the top of your head as you sit more upright and your spine aligns. And tuck your chin just slightly to gently lengthen the back of your neck. Lightly close your lips and breathe in and out through your nose. And smile, a subtle smile of calm happiness, of appreciation and gratitude for this time together. To let go, relax deeply, and find the deep inner quiet that is always available underneath it all. Allow this relaxed feeling of smiling to soften your eyes. Release any tension from your eyebrows and your forehead. Now we're going to focus into your tongue. You might just slightly rest your tongue up on the roof of your mouth, with the tip of your tongue touching the gum line behind your upper front teeth. And Anna Wise says that this next cue may be the most important cue that you learn in this whole book. That this is a key to relaxing your body and quieting your mind. Because the thoughts in your mind are intimately connected to your tongue. And as you relax your tongue, your mind quiets. So now, soften and relax your tongue. You might even feel that your tongue is floating in your mouth. Soften and relax your tongue even more. And notice what happens to your state of consciousness as you do this. Softening, relaxing your tongue even more. You may feel your tongue is floating, or there's a sense of spaciousness in your tongue. That you're letting go of any tension in your tongue. Just letting it rest. Notice what happens in your mind and your thoughts when your tongue is completely soft and relaxed, floating. Might find it difficult to generate a thought. Or if you have a thought like, am I doing this right? See if you can soften your tongue even more. Notice what happens to the thought. You might notice some saliva build up in your mouth when you really relax your tongue. That's a sign that your vagus nerve has been stimulated. Your relaxation responses come online, moving deeper into alpha and theta brainwaves. You may notice your mind comes online. You may have a thought. To see if your tongue is tensed up at all when that happens, or if there's anything other than softness when a thought comes up, and then soften your tongue again. See if that mind quiets. So just notice the interplay between thoughts, any sense of activation of your tongue, and softening, relaxing, letting go in your tongue, floating, and the mind quieting. And just notice how you feel when your tongue is soft. Maybe give yourself a few descriptive words to remember that by. You might feel a subtle rocking or swaying in your body, sense of floating. What is it for you? Sense of stillness, quiet. And just note that landmark with some descriptive words for yourself, how it arises for you. And Stephen will guide us from here.
Thank you, Kevin. So beautiful just to rest with your deep inner peace in this way. And particularly as you rest, another factor that can help influence this reduction of thoughts is to slow your breathing down. Just for a moment, become aware of your breathing. Just notice your breath. Just notice the quality of the breath. The calmer and deeper you can make your breathing, without any effort, without any strain, without holding it. More quickly and easily, you can still your mind. We all breathe at different rates according to our lung capacity and many other personal factors. If you can slow your own breathing down in relation to your norm, you not only relax more deeply, but you enter the deeper states of meditation more quickly. So let's begin this gentle experiment into relaxing that you've already begun by relaxing your tongue. Let's now find your normal breathing capacity. I'm going to time you for 1 minute. And in that minute, you're going to count how many breaths you have during that time. You're not going to alter your normal breathing rate. You're just going to complete one breath cycle at a time of inhalation and exhalation. And that's one count. So just be aware at the moment of your inhalation and your exhalation. And we're going to count. When I say now, I'll start a 1 minute timer. And we'll fill into the number of breaths, counting them very simply. One breath cycle is an inhalation and an exhalation. Okay. Bring your attention to the breath. And now we're going to start from now. And stop. Just be aware of the number, which you can share later if you wish. The average number of breaths per minute is between 12 and 18. What's your normal number of breaths per minute? If you focus on your breathing as you're doing now and allow it to slow down, you'll instantly reduce any beta brain activity. Those beta brain waves will calm down, especially if you have a busy brain that thinks lots of thoughts and you're wondering how to decrease that activity. This is one way. So you're just noticing the breath even more now. And I want you to let your hands that are relaxed in your lap now turn your hands palm down on your thigh. And we'll do a second experiment in slowing your breathing. Lightly place your hands palm down on your thigh. Just be aware of your hands and be aware of your breathing. Now, as you inhale, slowly raise your hand. Either hand is okay. And as you exhale, slowly lower it again. In this way, you're simply using your hand as a lever to gently regulate your breathing and slow it down. Here, you're not forcing yourself to slow down your breath. You're just simply being aware of the breathing as you raise and lower your hand. You're not breathing in any particular way. You're not stopping yourself breathing. You're not holding your breath. You're not starving yourself of any oxygen. You're simply having an intention to slow your breath. You may want to pause a little longer when you reach the end of the inhalation and when you reach the end of the exhalation. There is no strain, no pressure. So we're going to time ourselves again. And this time you're going to do it by raising and lowering your hand in time with the inhalation and then lowering it in time as you exhale. Using your hand as the lever to gently regulate your breath and slow it down. When I say now, you're going to begin to move your hand up on the inhalation and then lower it on the exhalation, allowing yourself to count the number of breaths that you have in 1 minute, this time intentionally slowing your breathing rate. So make the intention, have this intention of slowing your breath. And now we'll begin from now. And stop. As you rest in this deep relaxation, how many breaths did you take this time? Was it fewer than before? How long did the minute seem? Was it longer or shorter than the first minute that you timed? What were your thoughts like compared to the first time that we timed it earlier? What were the body sensations? did you remember to keep your tongue relaxed? How do you feel right now? Right now, notice what 1 minute of slowing your breath can do to this sense of relaxation. Or if you felt tense, to your tension or stress. These 3 simple instructions: relaxing your tongue, relaxing back, even lying down if you wish, and slowing your breathing by counting your breath, dramatically alters your state of consciousness in just 1 minute. So we're going to close by withdrawing into ourselves and leaving all unwanted thoughts behind. Really take a few moments to make the intention to deeply relax. Send your awareness far outside your building into the sky or space. Become aware of the sky or space. Try not to label any experience, just be aware. Then send your awareness just outside of the building, becoming aware of any external noises, any energy, any traffic, any people, without labeling, just awareness. Then bring your awareness into the house or building, apartment itself. Become aware of the energy of the building, the structures, the walls, the ceiling, the floor, the objects. Be aware of the energy within the building, in the space surrounding you in the room. Then bring your awareness into the body and the body sensations. The skin, the hairs on the skin. The tissues, the muscles, the organs. Again, without labeling, just simply be aware. And then right into the center of the body. Notice where you're attracted to, where you're drawn to. Maybe the center of the brain, maybe the center of your heart, maybe the center of your belly. Become aware of the energy or movement here. Maybe as thought, maybe as feelings, maybe as a gut instinct. Just notice. And then go right into the center of that. Just right into one point. The space at the very center of everything. And be aware of that. And then keeping that attention very, very soft, relax completely. And let awareness expand either infinitely outwards or infinitely inwards. Be effortless. Let go. Relax all effort and let all these practices melt into spaciousness itself. For the last few moments, stop trying to do anything at all. There is no separation between your body, mind, the world, all of this. Just dwell in the great oneness that is present here and now, beyond all descriptions and beyond all thought. So for the last few moments, gently bring your attention back to your breath. Slowly come back into the body. Feel a deep relaxation and peace in every cell of your being. Feel the spaciousness of your thoughts. Feel the calmness and depth of your breath. And feel the stillness in your mind. And as you slowly open your eyes, feel into the presence of stillness of us all here, of me, and Garth, Kevin, and Becca, of Bill, of Christine, of Cindy, of Connie, of Janet, and Lynn, and Monica, and Susan, and Wendy. Feel into the beauty of this collective stillness and relaxation. And what a difference it makes to the body and your felt sensations to be free from thought and to relax in such deep and profound way. Thank you always for your limitless and boundless presence. And with that, I will pass back to Kevin for any reflections or any insight. And if you want to share your breathing or your breathing rate or what that felt like, then please do. So Kevin, over to you.
Thank you, Stephen, for that beautiful guidance. Definitely got very relaxed there. So if anybody would like to share your, there's a hand, Connie Mitchell. There you go.
Okay. Hi. So I had a question about my tongue. So the cues are usually to put the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth or behind your upper front teeth.
Mm-hmm.
So I found when I really relaxed my tongue and the instruction was to feel as if it was floating, that it floated down from
Mm-hmm.
the top of my mouth.
Yep.
Is that okay? Or, what's the story with that?
Yeah. So in this meditation was all about relaxation and quieting the mind. So yeah, you just let your tongue completely go, relax, soft, wherever it wants to be. That was the cue for this meditation. Now, one of the reasons why you might not do that in other meditations is when you do, I don't know what your experience was with this, but you may find you get really dreamy, floaty, and not really having those beta waves of attention very strong at all. So like when we're doing subtle energy meditation, where we're really focusing on energy flow and clarity and light and brightness. If your tongue is just relaxed and down, you may just kind of zone out and lose that clarity. So the tongue resting up but soft is a balance, right?
Okay.
It's up, but it's soft. So you're finding a balance, which is more like the awakened mind state that she talks about, where you have beta, alpha, theta all happening. Whereas when you're just softening the tongue, just letting it float or relax, you may just have alpha, theta, and beta just kind of fades away, and it's a little more dreamy, floaty than it is clear and lucid. And so anyway.
But you can use that as a, like Stephen said, like a kind of 1 minute, the tongue and the breath together.
Yeah.
As a quick way to
Reset and relax. Yeah. Quick way to relax and quiet the mind. And
Yeah.
the soft tongue you might find is a great thing to do when you're trying to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Does tongue just completely soften and go. And it was hard when I was doing that. It was hard for me to then generate talking, like to keep guiding you because I kept
Yeah.
right. So I had to find that balance while I was guiding. But like when you're going to sleep, that's a wonderful cue for just total relaxation and quieting the mind and drifting away.
Gotcha. And my breath, I think because I meditate regularly, my breath tends to slow, I think really fast, really quickly once I
Yeah.
start the cues. So
Yeah.
my breath count in the 1 minute went from 5 to 3.
Yeah.
But when I'm sleeping, like my aura ring says, my typical breathing rate during sleep is like 14. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And then the only other thing I noted that was really interesting was about, I always love the instruction, Stephen, to take the awareness out to other places and then bringing it back in and into the space I'm in. I just find that so interesting because to me, the energy of a space is so crucial and feeling into where I am. And that is how I knew this building was my home within 1 minute of walking into it. I could
Yeah.
feel it. I could just feel it. I walked in and I was like, this is my house. And I kind of knew it was going to happen. So I think just being really in tune with the feeling of a space like that is such a lovely thing. And so I appreciate that. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's wonderful. And you and probably everyone here is highly empathic, right? And really probably sensitive to environment and what's happening. So yeah, that feeling space, that's a powerful practice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Connie.
Thank you, both of you. Appreciate it.
And I'm going to read from Susan and then Wendy. Oh, do you have to go, Stephen?
No. I was just going to say, Connie, that when people refer to, oh, your house feels just like you, then it's like you when you walk into a house to buy it, for example, or to rent it, you actually can feel the spaces that are more vibratorily or frequency wise suited to your own field. It's so I know what it feels because I've met you. I know now what it feels like to come to your house.
I hope you would love it. A lot of people come to visit me and a lot of people seem to really like it. So I appreciate that.
Nice. Thank you, Connie. Susan said, I had already slowed my breath to 7 per minute. Yeah, similar to Connie when we did the first count. Yeah, and also we've already relaxed our tongues, right? So you were already kind of primed for relaxation. So it could be interesting to do this like out in the middle of the day and see what your breathing rate is. She says it slowed further to 3 breaths when we added the arm as a lever. I was impressed at how much my mind quieted during this meditation. Nice. Cindy, my breaths were 5 per minute on the first count and slowed to 2 per minute on the second with the arm as a lever. Yeah, beautiful. So pretty much everyone that's expressed, there was a decrease. And since we were already really relaxed from the tongue, that's probably where we're at a lower breath count. So mine went 8 to 4, for example.
Kevin, I was just going to say one very quick funny thing is that I'm always curious what tunes into the space. Like Connie was talking about, that the space actually has an energy, and we have a very powerful space as a group. So in fact, Kevin, when you thought I was on mute, in fact, for some reason, a publisher from New York who's been trying to get me to put my book with their their publication house, was ringing and ringing and wouldn't stop ringing right at that very point. And I thought,
gotcha.
oh my goodness. And so I actually had to say to her, I'm actually doing a meditation. You know, I've told you not to ring at this time. And then I hung up. So it was really, I'm always amazed that the way the field can generate, people can feel very magnetized towards doing something and connecting with this amazing group here. So yeah, anyway, it was just a very curious moment. That's never happened. So Connie, he might have been tuning into your house. Maybe we're going to sign a book contract in your beautiful place. Kevin.
Nice. Thanks, Stephen. Lynn says, I went from 8 to 4.5. Thank you so much. The guidance was great, and I've gained some insight. I must go as it is midday here in Australia. Okay. Well, Lynn, thank you for joining us. And Wendy.
Thank you so much. That I love simple, and that was great for me. And I have a very talkative mind that's talking to me about what's happening all the time. And it got really still. I did go from 6 to 3 breaths, which I thought, I was really surprised, because I thought 6, that's not very many. I bet it won't slow down. And then it was 3. It was like,
Yeah.
And my mind became very still. And I really liked it, and I'll absolutely use it. I really appreciate it. I appreciate doing it. And I'm sure it's partly doing it with the whole group that makes it so effective. So thank you all.
Thanks, Wendy. Yeah, so this is a good experiment for all of us to experiment with this during the week and see what you discover when you're doing it on your own. And yeah, report back. Tell us what happened. Susan says, at one point, things were so quiet and still that I thought my phone had dropped the meeting and had a slight sudden thought of panic. Yeah. Yes. It did get very still and very quiet there. And that was the moment when I slightly opened my eyes and saw Stephen's mouth was moving, but I couldn't hear him. And so
It was great. It was great. It's always, Kevin and everybody, I've been on so many retreats with different lamas and masters, and really wild things happen in the middle of retreats, like somebody will get up and do something, and the guidance could be interrupted, but it kind of just flows, and it just, so it's really, I remember with Ajahn Brahm, who he used to say, do whatever your body has to do in the beginning. Get it all out. If you have to get up and walk around and shake a bed, or you need to go to the bathroom, he said, just go do that. Burp, do whatever you have to do to get all those things out of the body. And it's like that with emotions, like that with thoughts. Like that's why I think this exercise, though very simple, is incredibly effective. So
yeah, absolutely.
I loved it, Karen. Love it.
All right. Yes, Byron.
I want to add a little to that. At the same time that we didn't hear Altair anymore, then we started coming back into our bodies. For some reason, I just saw this huge font. Like I'm going, what's this font about? Like some kind of printing or something. I'm going, well, that's a weird thing to see.
Are you tuning into the publisher?
Yeah, exactly.
It's so funny. That's what I mean. It's so amazing. It's like you kind of think, wow, okay.
You're tuning into the collective there. That's very cool. All right. Well, noting the time here, I want to thank Garth for allowing us to go a little long. And thank you all for joining us again this week. And we'll continue with awakening the mind. We're going to do some concentration exercises next week. Very interesting inner and outer focus. So I think you're going to find that really fascinating. So thank you again.
Kevin,
yeah.
Kevin, I want to invite your friend. Please invite your friends to the next one. Kevin and I both know it's like a real aha. This next part that Kevin and I used to experiment a lot with this. That I just want to say, if you've got any friends that really love the unusual aspects of meditation, right, Kevin? Because this inner and outer focus is like, oh, it really touched me when we first did this years ago, Kevin. I think it's a real fabulous. So if you've got friends that you think might be interested in a little bit of the unusual sides of meditation and what you can do with awareness, it's brilliant. Yeah, sorry, Karen. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I love this part. You know, I love it. It's just like it's like a little piece of magic.
Yeah. It really teaches us about attention and awareness, these next practices. So that to look forward to next week. All of you have a wonderful week. Love and blessings to each and all. And we look forward to seeing you again next week. Same time, same place, same link. Bye for now.
All right. Thank you. Blessings. Bye.
Thank you. Blessings to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Love
you.
to all.
Love to you too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.